Okay, for our next couple of examples here, we're going to take a look at using the Pythagorean theorem to solve a couple of questions where we're not just working with triangles, we're looking at applications here. So first here, we want to calculate the slant height of a cone, given the radius is 5 centimeters and the height is 11 centimeters. Now, first off, what is the slant height of the cone? The slant height, well, the height is the distance from the center of the base of the cone up to the very top of the cone. So this right here is our, I'll just draw an arrow here, this is our height. The slant height goes from the vertex down along one of the edges of the cone to the edge of the circle that forms the base. So it kind of goes on a slant, which is why we call it the slant height. And across the bottom here, this line represents half of our circle that forms our base. So down here, this is our radius. Okay? And together these three things, the height, the slant height, and the radius, form a right-angled triangle. So that's why we can use Pythagorean theorem to solve for one of the sides. So let's go through the steps again using the Pythagorean theorem. We want to label these. C, A, and B. And we start with C. So we go across from the right angle. This will be our C. Over here will be our A. And down here at the bottom, we'll label that one D. Okay? And then let's add our numbers onto this diagram. Okay? They tell us that the radius is 5 centimeters. So down here at the bottom, where I've got my radius, and I've labeled it B, that's where my 5 goes. The height is 11 centimeters. So straight up the middle of the cone, where I've got my height, or I've labeled it A, that's going to be 11. And now I can move on to my equation. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So which of these letters do I have numbers for? Well, let's see. I've got B down at the bottom, that's 5, so I'm going to replace B with 5. I've got an 11 for my A there, so I'm going to put 11 squared for A. And I don't know C. That's what I'm trying to find, because they ask us to find the slant height of the cone, and I've labeled my slant height as C there. So now I'm on to, let's simplify this. So I can do 11 squared, 11 times 11 is 121, plus 5 times 5, which is 25. And then I can add those two together. 121 plus 25 gives me 146. And now I can solve this for C. C is going to be the square root of 146. Now this one we have to do on our calculator because it's not going to work out evenly. If I put this into the calculator, I get C equals 12.08. Okay? So when you get a decimal, always just put 2 decimal places. Okay? Round it off to 2 decimal places. So C is 12.08, and that's going to be our slant height. So we should probably put a little message at the bottom saying slant height is 12.08 centimeters.